Spartans! What is your profession? This is Sparta!
What is going on, everybody? We're back at it again. So, it's another stream. It's another night. So, if you're coming in, first time, last time, repeating, do me a favor! Hit the like, share, and subscribe button, please. If you change your mind later, cool. But as you come in, please hit that button. It will help me out, help a lot of things out, and be a benefit. Thank you in advance. So, let's ask this question right now. Have you ever been in a relationship and then somebody tried to change you so much? Didn't matter what you did, what you did not do, but they want to kind of mold you into a person that you're not, or to something you're not. Trying to change your hobbies, change your friends, change anything about you. We've all been with at least one person like that. Doesn't matter how committed you were, what's the word I'm looking for? How loyal you are, even how much love you with the person. But nothing was good enough. They always wanted you to change. Obviously, we all know that kind of relation never is going to be going far. It's always going to end, no matter what. Sooner or later. That is reality. If man or woman, doesn't matter which way this goes, tries to change you, most likely that is not going to last. It's just one of those things. To me, it's red alarms. And I usually run the other way as fast as I can. I'm not saying, the man is always right or the woman's always right. I don't believe that shit at all. It's a 50-50 commitment. But what I do believe is communication. You are going to change a little bit in a relationship. That's not if it's going to happen, is when it's going to happen. Like, might start liking, different bands you never heard of before. Or you may get into different colognes. And I'm sorry, there's silly ideas out there, but there are ideas. But the point I'm trying to get to is there are always somebody in one point or the other in any type of relationship, anywhere, any relationship you've been in, they're going to try and change you. At least one time. In one relationship. I'm not saying your current relationship or your current marriage or your previous relationship. I'm not saying that. I said over the years you dated, it was that one person probably saying, no, fuck you. You're going to do what I say. I'm in charge kind of thing. You're going to change. You're going to do what I say. Start, saying, you know what? You're not allowed to wear, I don't think that sounds silly, but any Under Armour clothes. I hate Under Armour. Or, you know what? You're an iPhone person. You cannot use an iPhone ever again. You would have to use Samsung. I know that's a silly ideas. But you really do enjoy your iPhone. But you really do enjoy your shirts. Your Under Armour shirts are very comfortable. You like wearing sweatpants. I like wearing sweatpants all the time. Like, anything more? But you cannot wear sweatpants around the house. Really? Or my favorite one, and all guys have heard this. You have to stop gaming. You're too grown up for that. Yeah, I'm not stopping gaming. I love gaming. I love wearing sweatpants. I love my iPhone. Oh, my favorite one. You guys are going to get a kick out of this one. You need to shave your beard. You look homeless. Okay, cool. I might be homeless, but guess what? I'm not broke. I earned for my shit. I might not be the attractive guy to you with a beard. I don't give a shit. Get that through your fucking head. That is, to me, when people make you change you because they want you to change, I call bullshit on that. But when you try to do it back to them, oh, you're going to get pushed back. No. Absolutely not. Holy shit, look who's in the house. Bass, welcome. And if you'd like to come on, please let me know. Show me your email, and I will love to have you on. Seriously, you're always welcome here. So, change. There's always somebody. You're not allowed to play games. You can't grow your beard. Or, hey, but the other one. You can't watch anime or cartoons anymore. I'm like, excuse me? Yeah, no. But is it that one person is always trying to change you and mold you in a different person? My other favorite one. Ready for this one? They try to buy you. I cannot stand when someone tries to buy you. Spending the money right and left to see, hey, I cannot make him fall in love, but I can buy his love. Really. Anybody who tries to buy anybody, I'm telling you one thing. If you're going to take anything from my show tonight, take one thing. Take this one little advice. If you're dropping money right and left on that woman or that man, trying to buy them, you may not realize it. Maybe not consciously. You may be just doing it because it's a normal thing for you. I'm not saying you don't buy him dinner. I'm not saying that. I think it should be turns here and there. But our unofficial Steelers in the house. Stacy, welcome. But what I am saying here for a minute, if you're trying to be, okay, for example, if he or she is trying to pay for your cell phone, your Lenovo, welcome. Your cell phone, your car insurance, your carpet, buying you a new car, buying jewelry, this and that. It doesn't matter where it is. That's trying to buy you. So if it's I can't stand when people are trying to buy you. It's the most irritating thing I have ever heard. Trying to buy you. That's what I can't stand. Anybody's, like I said, anybody's watching this, only doesn't give you, if you're trying to buy somebody, don't. End of the day, a couple of things are going to happen. A, she's going to probably cheat on you, or he. The person's going to cheat on you, use you, make you broke, probably, and peace out when you don't have money. It's happened to me. It happened to everybody at least once. At least two, from my knowledge, at least the man's. But why do women try to change you? That is a good question. So let's see what we have. So one of them is the values are not matching up. I agree with that. Commitment. Okay. Yep, I agree with that. Personal growth and development. That's another juicy one. Socialization with others are different. With social, where do you fit in social chapter? Meaning, are you trying to be something you're up here or down here or what? That's the thing. Where do you fit? Commitment. Huh. That's a juicy one. Personal preservation. And last one, relationship status. That is going to be an interesting conversation when it comes to that. Because all 8 of these could fit anywhere in this. It doesn't have to be all 8. It could be only one of the factor in this situation you're in that they want you to be changed. But everything's different. So let's get our first guest in here. And of course, I am, talking about the only president we have on board. Two fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers. How are we doing this, Paul? You get a kick out of it.
1 finger's more than enough. Good evening, sir.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
What's going on? I'm good. Just got off a show, and so dragging me into another one, but that's okay. What's going on?
I actually popped my head in earlier your other show. It looked like you guys were having. I was getting set up here.
I was good.
Good conversation you guys were having. Juicy one tonight. So let me ask you a question, and I know you have a big answer to this one, like always. Do you feel some women, not all women, some women, at least at one point in some man's relationship, or women, a woman or man will try to change their partner and to mold them into what they want?
Yes.
Okay. Can you get a little more detail on that? Yes.
You just, I'm long-winded now. I give you a short answer. You don't want to hear. It's natural. I mean, look, women are natural nurturers. So again, the idea that they want to cultivate relationships, cultivate their children, cultivate their homes. Why is it that, a man can live in a home that looks the same home for like 20 years and never change the curtains, never want to change anything unless something breaks, then you get something new. But a woman can get to a point where she's like, you know what? I don't like this anymore. I want to change the colors. I want to repaint the bathroom. I want to redo whatever. So again, it's just, I think it's just natural for women to want to nurture and cultivate and change and mature to a standard that is to their liking. Men can buy the house, but women are the ones that generally make the home. So I don't think it's unnatural for that to happen. And men, for that matter, also. We want conformity. We want people who are on our program. So it doesn't surprise me that if a guy is with a woman and that the man wants certain things from his woman in terms of how she treats him, in terms of what she wears, what she cooks for him, or whatever whatever his needs are, it's just natural. We want human beings in general. We want to be around people who model and mold our behaviors and conform to our lifestyles. We can get into these spaces and talk about how, yes, we like diversity, right? And we like opinions and diverse opinions and different ways of thinking and approaching issues. But that's something that for a lot of people, you have to fight to want that. That's something you have to fight against your own natural instinct to want conformity. And most human beings have a desire to conform more so than to be an individual self. So it doesn't surprise me at all when a man or a woman wants to do that. But the issue is what that person's asking for. Are you the person on the other end? Are you the one? Are you comfortable with that? Is that something that you desire? When you go into a marriage, for example, are the two trying to become one? That's almost, in a way, from a spiritual perspective, it's almost mandatory. where you're gonna, the two become one. So she's gonna have to conform in certain ways, and so are you as the man. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it in and of itself. The question is, what are you having me conform to, and does that, still align with my value sets, and is that something that I can live with? And these days, everyone wants to be an individual. I think that's becoming harder, but that's still, I think, the human condition.
I agree. I agree with some of them, and I disagree with a couple of them. If
Sure.
somebody's trying to change you some things, let's say, I'm a gamer, for example, and she goes, you know what, I cannot deal with you. You can't game. You gotta grow up enough with gaming. You're 38. You cannot fucking game anymore. I'm gonna push back on that. It's something I do enjoy, and I actually relax. It's something I think is a stress reliever for me personally. And I have another one that I know this sounds stupid and silly. I've been in that situation because obviously you guys know I'm a beard guy. I grow my beard every so often, and I think this is the second time you guys see me grow my beard. Saying, "Oh, you have to shave your beard or you can't be with me." I'm like, I'm not shaving my beard. Simple. So really fast. Stacey says, I knew someone who was a
A
bachelor for
bachelor.
years. So once he got married, the wife wanted to change the house. I don't see a problem with that personally, but the house, but in her case, we're old and dusty. On through that thing.
That's the point I was making. Like I said, guys can live in a house for 20 years and not change a thing. They're not cleaning curtains. They're not doing any of that stuff. And so when the woman comes in and says, "Hey, at least let's change these curtains. Let's get into the more modern. Let's get out of the 1960s." And he's going to be like, "Oh, I like my old curtains. I like it the way it is." I mean, that's again, that's a normal thing, um but again, that's what I'm saying. But on both sides, you have to know, what you value and what you don't. So as far as when you talk about changing a person, I think it definitely starts with, what are you changing? Are you changing habits? Are you changing lifestyle? Or are you changing things like values and mores? And at the end of the day, what are you willing to live with? So again, change, for a change sake. I mean, your wardrobe might not have changed since the 80s. It's like, look, it's 2024. Yeah, we don't wear bell bottoms anymore, or we don't wear, acid wash jeans anymore, or whatever the norm is. Hey, let's get you some modern clothes. The suit that you wore, like, no one's wearing those light blue tuxedos anymore. So yeah, let's get you a more modern look, so that you can, act like you're in the 21st century here. So again, those are part of the question again, what are you changing? And is that of value? How much of that is a value to you, especially given what the long-term aim is? So if you're talking about marriage, if you're talking about legacy and things down the line, you have to ask yourself the question, how important is the beard? How important is the gaming, or whatever? I'm not saying one is more important than the other. Only you can make that decision. But you have to decide what's going to be, what can I live with? Because at the end of the day, a lot of times relationships is about compromise and about, finding a peaceful way to coexist. But if everyone's going to be like, it's my way or the highway, then no one's going to really, no one's going to get together.
See, here's my little pushback on that. Sometimes, the house, I don't give a shit. If you want to change this and change that, I'm usually the one who brings more modern stuff in. Like I might bring into Voomba, the Alexa stuff, and all this. I upgrade stuff usually to make our house easier. That's I've always been a tech person, and me and you had this conversation before. So that part I don't care. But when it comes down to, like, she tells me shave my beard or my hair or whatever the case is, but she's not, I might come, hey, you should trim your hair a little bit. You might look a little nicer, a little shorter hair. She's pushing back on polity. It's only one way. That's where I personally have an issue. I'm like, okay, I'm compromising for you, but where's your compromise from you? You see where I'm going with this?
Um, somewhat. So now you're talking about because in order for you to do that thing like shave your beard, you're going to ask her to do something for you.
Not 100%, but I'm just saying in the long term.
Okay.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about, for example, like, okay, here's a great example. Like, I paid her for. I said, hey, honey, it's a nice day out. Why don't you go out and get your nails done, all this stuff, like, and I'm paying for it, and she's pushing back and everything, and she goes, no, I'm not doing that yet. Yeah, I'm like, why not? But I want you to shave your beard, like, but I'm getting your nails done for you. It's a hard example. It's very hard. I'm trying to put this in words. I'm having a hard time putting this in words.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. I'm having a really hard
Well,
time
again,
putting this
it's
in
not,
words.
but it's not always a quid pro quo. You know what I'm saying? It's not always again a do you do this you do. It's about what is comfortable. So she
Totally
may
agree.
like you without the beard, but she might be comfortable with her nails, or vice versa. At the end of the day, it's about again what you value and what's important. If your beard or your hair or your personal look or style or whatever, if those are non-negotiables, that needs to be stated very early in the relationship. Otherwise, you're just going to waste your time, and you're just going to be in a constant, struggle and tit for tat for things. But no, is again, I think in a marriage, not everything has to be okay. I did this, so you must do that.
So you don't believe in compromise, like going to meet halfway?
But compromise and halfway isn't the same thing. Compromise is again what you both agree to, and it doesn't have to be 50-50.
Agree.
It's what works. So like I said, for me, like I can care less about the house most of the time. Or I can say I may have like a little segment, like this area that I'm in, I got my computer set up and everything and whatnot. It's like, all right, you can pretty much do anything else to the house you want. Just leave me this and go
Totally
ahead and
agree.
do whatever you
100%. I'm
want.
100% bored with you. That I would have been.
So I don't care, you know. And but if there's something that I would like her to do, again, she's going to say, yes, I might be with it. No, it's not. Or I may need to work on the art of persuasion. How can I get her to see, my side of things? But certainly in the time I've been married, again, there's yeses, maybes, and nevers. And we've had to navigate that. There's still some things that I may still want that my wife is like, never. And I just live with that. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. There's certain things that she may want me to do. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. She's like, why don't you help me take my hair out when I got to go, if she got braids or something in her hair, why don't you help me take this stuff? I was like, no, I don't want to do that. That's just not something I long to do, but I'll do everything else. I'll mow the lawn. I'll power wash the house. I'll do whatever. I just don't want to be sitting for 3-4 hours taking hair out. I just don't want to do that. Nor do I want to sit with you watching a Tyler Perry movie or one of your Hallmark movies. No, I don't want to do that.
Well, Paul, she does take your hair out for you.
Really?
You know how to go there.
Really? I take out my own hair, sir. I've liberated myself from the follicle world. So, but that being said, but again, it's about what you can live with and what she can live with, and can you coexist together? And again, it's not always going to be equal. At times, you may feel like you're giving more that you're getting, and then that may turn on a dime where she thinks that she's giving more than what you're giving. But at the end of the day, can you live with it?
That's a good point. Bass, welcome.
Hello, beautifully animated. Long time. Good to see you again.
How y'all doing?
I'm doing fine. And Lady Novoa, it's great seeing you, I think, in person for the first time, seeing you on
She's
the,
loaded
on
on
the
my side.
panel.
Let me try to get her in.
She's always the lady behind the scenes, but it's great to see you here.
Let me try to get her in right now. Because on
Oh, I
my
think
side, it's
she's
saying
frozen.
she's loading still. Give her a second to come pop in. Let me do a little quick reset. See if that fixes the problem. Boom. All right, I'm not sure who it is, but somebody says it cannot hear us. I'm not getting a name on the chat, back chat. So, till we
It
fix
might
it,
be late in the bowl. I'm not
yeah,
sure.
it probably is because I'm not getting any feedback on that on her end, on my side at least.
Mm.
My advice is go out and come back in. Sometimes it's OBS a little funky. So all right, let's get back to our first question. Actually, Bass, do you have anything to add to this before we go ahead?
I don't believe in changing people. I don't even understand why people would want to waste time doing that because you can't change a person. A person can change themselves. So you can point out different things you may see as a flaw. And if that person agrees with you, then most likely they'll want to work on it. But just to outright trying to change a person is ridiculous. I believe in making tweaks. Like
I'll accept that.
tweaks are something small, right, to make you a better person. So I can deal with tweaks, but not changing a person. Like I have a strong personality. That's not going to change. you know. um, but I used to wear a lot of makeup because I like makeup. Um, so in my tweak for my makeup is I might wear it less, but I'm not going to give it up. I'm not going to stop wearing my wigs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I can make tweaks, but not change.
And that I think that's fair. Okay, if you tweak a little bit, yeah, and it also depends what it is too. It depends on, like, okay, for example, I like growing my hair out. Says, you look good with your long hair, but you look better with short hair. Okay, I can accept that. So it depends what it is. Again, it goes back to what me and Paul were saying. It is sometimes compromised too. So let me get into the first question. See what you guys think. What are some? It's funny actually. What are some compromise reach every woman's desire to change a man?
Wait, what was the question?
What are some common reasons why a woman may want to change a man?
Why do people want to change people in the first place? To make them the perfect person, right? Because have you ever been like this about this woman, but like you see the pros and cons about this woman, you see the pros and cons about the other woman. And it's like, okay, if I can just put all their pros together, I would have the perfect woman. It's it's just it's delusional.
I agree.
People are fooling themselves thinking they can make a perfect person. There's no such thing. So what you do is you go out there and you try to find the person who has more pros than cons. Because again, you can't change a person. I don't even understand the whole point of holding on to a person that you have nothing in common with, or you have so many cons with. If you're conflicting that badly, you shouldn't be with that person. Why are you torturing yourself?
That's a good point. Paul, you have anything to add to that?
Can you repeat that question you just asked again?
Yeah, of course.
Why? No, what the question that she
Me?
was asking, beauty pageant. Yeah, what you were saying?
Okay, so I was saying that I don't understand why would you want to be with a person you have mostly cons with, and you're therefore having so many conflicts with.
I agree.
As opposed to leaving that person alone, right? And then find someone you have more pros with. Even if you have love for that person, because I understand people want to. Well, I halfway understand people want to hold on to someone they love, whatever, because of the love. But sometimes love is not enough, right? So I'm the type of person that I can love you from a distance. Like I always have love for you, but from a distance.
Right. I don't know. I just think that the driver of someone wanting to change someone else or try to find someone that's more like them, I think it's in a lot of ways, I think it's the same thing. At the end of the day, you're still looking at from your perspective, what can I accept? What can I tolerate? What I can peacefully live with. So if I can find that on the rip and this person has on the checklist 9 out of the 10 things that I want, great. You know?
Right.
Well, if I get someone who maybe has maybe 7 of those things, I think it's natural. I don't think it's, ridiculous to say, okay, look, I got 7. Maybe you got to start with a 7 and work to an 8. Now, if it's a 2 or 1, if you're totally off, and again, as I go back to what are the things that we're talking about? Are we talking about values, right? What are your moral values? What are your spiritual? You're a Christian and he's an atheist or a Muslim or whatever that is. That might be a bridge too far to cross. But maybe it's, again, dressing or tastes of some kind or food or what have you. Those things I think just naturally can change over time. Like I said earlier, in my situation, there's yeses, and I'm talking about things that were never considered before, or things that I never entertained prior to. So my wife comes out with a suggestion. Hey, you want to go somewhere here that I've never even thought of before? I'd be like, sure, let's go. And there's things that I don't know. Let me think about it. And, again, I can be sold. And then there's things that's like, no way. Don't even ask me that. We ain't going there. So again, I think there's always that ground. Like I said, if I get 7 out of 10 things on my list, if I can, through the course of our relationship, get an 8th or 9th out of it, naturally I'm going to go for that.
Yeah.
So I think part of it is, like I said, it's about finding someone who fits us. Now, again, and also in exchange, I may be willing to give up some things. It's like the whole guns and butter economic argument. If I got some extra butter that maybe I don't necessarily need to hang on to, that I can get rid of, or you need to find, I can give you some things to make it easier for me to live, for you to live with me. Fine, I'll make those compromises. Fine, you don't want me leaving my underwear, everywhere or whatever. Yeah, I can work on that to clean that up. I can put the seat cover down in the bathroom, even though I never understood why that causes so many fights. I honestly don't. But nevertheless, if that
when it's nighttime, you can fall in the toilet.
No, you can't. Black women, please. Black women, those big booties, you ain't falling in the toilet. Don't even go there.
No, I've never fallen in the toilet. But
thank you.
You know what? If I saw that, I'm gonna. If you, I just need to record it. I just need you to record it, please.
I've never heard that in my life. No.
But the best one I have. No. If you really want to get somebody, here's a little secret. You remember the little firecrackers you used to throw as a kid, like poppers? I used to call them?
Yeah,
snappers. I duct taped them on inside the toilet seat, so when you sit down, go.
Well, you're just a sadistic dude, man. So I'm just saying.
Dude, come
on. Why
now.
does that very leaving the seat up? And even if that did happen, that might be like once in a lifetime that ever does happen. But that causes so many fights over something. But again, it takes less than a second to either pick it up or put it down. And that's a big thing.
My peeve for the toilet is you pissing on the toilet and not cleaning it up.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
And if
you pissed on the toilet.
First of all, and if that was a mate, first of all, I should know better. But even if I didn't, if I'm gonna fight you on that one, there's some other stuff going on. But I'm thinking it would be something a bit more reasonable than that. But nevertheless, I can give you that. You know what I'm saying? I should have enough emotional security in who I am as a person to meet you on some things for the sake of the relationship, to say, hey, I don't understand why she doesn't like it, but the fact of the matter is she does not like it. So I will stop doing it, or I will do better for that situation. I think those are the things that you can negotiate in over the course of a relationship. So that's what I'm saying. So I think that is natural. So I'm willing to comply or conform or whatever you want to call it, because nobody wants to use those terms, especially in these spaces. But I think those are reasonable, especially if your long term is death. I said I just celebrated my 27th, and we're in year 28. It's 28 or death. So what do I have to do to get to death? Because at this point, I'm almost to the point now where it's like, if we ever broke up at this point, that would be one of the saddest stories ever. But unfortunately, I've seen some couples, especially since the pandemic, folks that we knew for years, married 20 plus years. Our kids grew up together, got divorced. And I'm saying that's tragic. Look, the first year or two, you didn't know what you were doing. You were impulsive. Y'all were just running on lust. Y'all just said, let's just go to Justice of the Peace and let's go in Vegas. Let's get married. And y'all, a couple years later, it's like, oh, we stupid. We shouldn't have did this. And yeah, that I can accept. But you 20 years plus into the game and you guys haven't been able to figure some things out, that's a tragedy to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think you have to have that pliability, that ability to adapt, that what you might have thought was so important to you, especially for the long term, ask yourself the question, is it? Or is it just you just being stubborn, or you just being in your own energy or whatever? And I'm not calling out any specific thing. I'm just saying everybody during the course of your relationship, you have to ask yourself those questions. So that comic book collection that I've had for 20 years, is it really worth it to me at the end of the day? Or are we talking about bigger things? I got a kid I got to get through college. I can get some decent money for those comics. Guess what? Me, I'm selling the comics. Some people, they taking the comics to the grave.
Okay, when it comes to your kid, yeah, I agree with that. Like, there's some things in my collection that I treasure. Like, you can see them all over behind me, my autographs. I have, like, at least 5 or 6 thousands in my autographs. Each one is personalized to me. It was a one
absolutely time. But if you needed it, let's say if your mom, if there was some emergency happened, you needed money, and you just said, you know what, I'm just going to hawk all this stuff and get the money to take care of whoever I got to take. Would you do it?
Yeah, on a heartbeat.
So again, then we got, that's what I'm saying. Those are the questions that we have to ask ourselves.
Yes.
What is it being done for? Is the compromise or whatever I'm doing, what am I doing it for? And is it worth it?
Yeah.
And you always have to ask yourself, because it may be important to you now, in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, but you're going to get to a point where you get to 50 plus, a lot of that stuff really doesn't matter.
Oh, I totally agree. I'll give you a great example. I have some of the old Super Nintendo stuff like that. I started collecting them recently again, and I kind of looked into it like, why am I collecting this stuff? I'm not going to use that shit. And I started selling back some way because they're great to have, but are you... I'm sorry? And we lost her.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think it's the weather today is acting the OBS up too.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Anyway, but I was saying,
Oh no, I said I'll be right back. I turned the camera off.
Oh, you good? You good?
You go, girl, do your thing. If you need to go get a drink, do your thing. So like some of them are worth some money now. Like I'm looking like, okay, if I sit there, and I was talking to my best friend CQ about this, like I'm like, I don't know what to do with them. I'm like, I want to get rid of them, but I don't want to lose money. He goes, right now the market's hot, dude. If you don't lose money, now is the time. You might lose a few $100s because you're probably not gonna get what you paid for them, but you might get most of it back. Or like, you know what, fuck it, get rid of them. And I'm process selling some of the stuff because they can sit there and collect dust. Now you tell me my PlayStation 5, get rid of it. I use that at least. I haven't used it as much as I want to, but I used to use it like at least weekly, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like only thing I like, even give you a great example. I was in a relationship years ago. I was in my early 20s. I went through a gun phase. I mean, a big gun phase.
Yeah.
I had a room just like this in my house. I had a 5-bedroom house at the time. I had an armory. That's how bad my habit got. And I eventually sold them off because same reason you just said, because my mom we needed to pay her medical bills. So I literally stood in a room. I looked left. I looked right. I go, I'm gonna take it to the range one more time, shoot them, clean them, and sell them. And I didn't get what I paid for them, but I got what I needed at least.
Right.
Do I regret it? No. Do I miss them? Yeah, I miss them sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you. There were some beautiful guns. Some were custom guns. I did my own tweaking to them, but I had to get rid of them. But I had with one person I was with in my 20s at the time. She came in the house. She looked at me like, her eyes opened. They're like, "You have guns?" I'm like, "Yeah, what? What's wrong?" I know it's the coolest thing in the world. She goes, "I hate guns." I'm like, "Why?" She was freaking out because she was not experienced around guns like I was. So we came in the middle. Like, okay, so I won't have the guns around you. The door will be locked. So we just hang that somewhere else in the house, the bedroom or whatever the case is. But that's the example I have, at least. Compromise, if that makes sense. So I think this was a good one for you, Paul. How does social media, friendship, and so that make an influence in women's decisions to change a male partner?
Just like any other media. Back in the day, before social media, there was Women's Home Journal and Cosmopolitan Magazine and Better Homes and Gardens Magazine and Ask Dr. Ruth and Ask Dr. So-and-so about whatever. Gosh. It's all about, it's just another media platform. It's more readily available. But again, there's always been a segment. I mean, back in the day, the happy housewife show, or the woman on TV, how to bake and how to do this and how to do. I mean, there've been women like that out for a long time, giving advice on how to make your marriage better, or how to tempt your husband, or how to do certain things, or it's just that. I mean, unless you're going to live on an island, by yourself with no influence whatsoever, which some people seem to be suggesting in some of these instances, that you just isolate yourself from everything, every influence on the outside, you're going to be influenced by it. It's just a matter of it. I talk all the time about all the immigrant people that I know, that when they come to America, and these are coming from very cultish, clannish type, tribal environments, and they're just not the same after a while. They go back home. We did pretty much how many weeks of gray area that we talked about. The idea is like, when you go home, like how has America affected you when you go home, and how has it affected your values when you go back home and you look at your Greek friends and people who are still native there? How are Greek Americans different from native Greeks? It's gonna happen. Yeah. You know what I mean? So whether it be social media or the magazines or your friendship circles or whatever, you're gonna be influenced, and one way or another. At least they're gonna put something in your ear that at least you're gonna think about doing or implementing, or to some extent. So yeah, I mean, is it having an impact? Sure, it is. But at the end of the day, you have to still think about, again, what's in your best interest, not necessarily what someone else is promoting. But again, if there's something that you could use, look, maybe, and not all of that social media is necessarily bad. I mean, if you hear something on social media, you watch a YouTube video where someone sends you a link, hey, check this out, how to make your marriage better, how to do self-improvement, or something that you can use and implement in your own life, terrific. But people have to be, wise in terms of, again, the information that they take in. Again, I'm always quoting Bruce Lee. Absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is essential to your own. Or have a refrigerator approach. or supermarket approach, as they say. You're going down the aisles, you're not picking up everything that's in the aisle. You pick up what you need that's going to enhance your quality of life and living. So absolutely, can it affect? Of course, but you have to say, not all information is good, and you have to decide what works best for you in your situation.
See, what I like about that, or you said, is social media can be a good thing sometimes. We see so much negative, and we just think everything's negative. But we gotta take a step back from a second here and say, hey, not everything is bad. Some things actually is decent and good information. The barbershop, great example. We may butt and scream and yell, but we do get some good information out of that show.
We absolutely do.
And people don't realize that. You see the craziness part, but they don't take the information in a little bit. And that's what we need to stop thinking about. There's like, which one? It was a YouTuber. She usually do shorts. And she was just talking about women, what they need to do to make their men happy, yada. And a lot of that information, she's facts, 100% right. It's like, if he's like depressed, sometimes he just needs to relax. Maybe he's overtired or whatever. I'm just using examples, of course. Sometimes you just need to listen before you react. And we are so used to the negativity because it's obviously social media has this black cloud over it right now.
Yeah.
We need to take the cloud away. Maybe think of it a different way.
Indeed.
Yeah. Bass, did you hear the last question, any chance?
No.
So I was asking Paul, how does social media influence a woman's decision?
Social media influences a lot of people's decisions, period. No one does their homework. So they listen to whatever social media says and run with that, right? And so that's a major problem. That's probably why there's a rift between men and women, because people are not even they're not even making decisions based on their own experiences and history and stuff like that. They're basing it off of someone else's story.
Okay, I'll take it.
So yeah.
How about this question? How can you identify any parts or tears in any type of changes a woman seeking to make the male partner into a different person?
Sorry, repeat the question. Can you
identify any changes or tears into a typical woman who's trying to make changes into her partner into becoming a different man?
I'm sorry, changes or tears?
Yes, tears, like ripping him apart. Like breaking him
Can you
down.
identify any changes or tears? Okay, so finish the question. Any changes or tears that do what?
That can identify a woman changing a man, kind of shaping him into a different person, changing him completely. Like, okay, you're Paul, but somebody wants to make you into Peter, for example. It's kind of hard to be me, by the way. FYI.
I'm doing what?
It's kind of hard to be me, so FYI. Don't even try.
Okay. I won't even go there.
I already did.
Well, I think a lot of it is, again, your motivation for proposing whatever the change is. Like there's a difference. I mean, you can want someone to change to be a better version of that of yourself. So if that person sees a certain potential in you, skills and abilities that you have that are untapped, or that or your lack of discipline, or what have you, that's one thing. But if you're going to tell me that, well, you need to do this because my ex used to do that, or you had good experiences based on a relationship with
That's what I
another
was thinking
person.
too.
I mean,
that's where I was
Like
going
you're
with
not
this question.
changing,
Actually,
you're not trying to change the person to
I may
be
not
better
rock
than
with that,
themselves,
but
but become another
yeah,
person.
yeah, yeah. But if the idea is, it's like,
Yeah.
you see something in me where I can be better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have certain talents. I have certain abilities, and you just want me to be more disciplined at employing them. Um, then yeah. Or if you think again, it's going to be helpful for my future. Like, say, let's say if I have a swearing problem, and that where I just don't control my tongue very well, and it could be a situation that could be detrimental to my career. And you may suggest that, look, that's something you need to work on. Your language is just not, you need to use better vocabulary because it could hurt you in the long run. I don't think that's necessarily getting me to be someone else. I think that's me trying to be a better version of myself where I can be more acceptable and simply be better at language. Because I do worry sometimes how for some people there's 250,000 words in the English language, and most people half the language is only 7 words. I mean, that's something I think we can get better at. So in cases like that, again, I think those are positives. But if I'm constantly being compared to someone else, then I may start to push back on that a little bit. It's like, look, if you want to still be with that person, you should have stayed with that. You should have stayed with that person. So I think a lot of it has to be about, you have to take.
Exactly.
I think a lot of it is in a relationship. I think a primary responsibility of a partner in a relationship is to know the person that you're dealing with. I mean, really, like, know them. Know their moods, what drives them, what turns them on, what turns them off, and really understand that person before you then go in to say, hey, I think this would be useful to you because these things I really like, and I think you could be better in these. But again, unless you have that understanding, or if just from the rip you just want to say, well, you need to be doing things this way, I think that helps a lot also, as far as the perception of what's coming from the person. This is coming from someone who's taken the time to understand me. For example, in your case, grooming, why is your grooming important to you? Why is your beard or your hair or the way why are those things important to you?
Simple.
What's
I'll tell you right now.
what's the
The deal
what's
I
the
made,
what's,
I made with my mother is I will completely go back to my old style, the short, groom, styled. And
right,
I show pictures out there about me like that. After she beat cancer,
right. But I'm just saying, but a person needs to take the time to understand that before they start offering suggestions that you need to change that.
I totally agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We take so
That's,
much
yeah.
time just trying to change from the rip without understanding why is this of value to you.
Right.
So again, I think that would go a long way with when a person comes with a suggestion or persuasion or whatever it is, you're talking from a place of knowledge versus just putting things out because that's the way you like it. I think all relationships, your number one job in a relationship is to know the person that you're with inside and out. Study them. Like, write the manual on them if you possibly can. And then once you have all that information, now you can make, again, suggestions for improvement or, work on how can this person be better and all that kind of stuff. But most people, they don't take that time.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take time
That
because
takes
they don't care
patience.
about it.
That takes understanding. That
important.
takes, yeah.
It's too much energy. It's too much thought. It's just too much.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I have an issue. People don't want to take 5 minutes to get to know. Like, I took time,
right?
And I know this is a stupid example. Got to know Paul as Paul. I got to know a little time me and you have spoke, Bass, and get to know you as a person, and understand. Okay, you know, I can rock with this person. They're cool as shit, and you know, it's not that bad. But when they see the beard again, I know there's stupid examples. Oh man, I'm like, what's up with the beard? Like, there's nothing wrong with the beard. Beard's not actually in right now when you actually think about it. But my point I'm trying to get to is, like, they don't give somebody a chance. Don't judge a book from a cover. You don't know what's really going inside. I love that saying. Don't judge a book from a cover. We always say, but how many do we actually practice?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You know, there's a lot of people, they can't help but judge a book by its cover because they're illiterate.
Wow. That's a ring the bell, Groomy, on that one. That's a.
You want the bell? Okay. You know, I got a better one for her.
They can't comprehend. They can't comprehend.
There you go.
As much
I
want to give her shit for it, but she's actually right. Think about it. Just think from what she's saying. Most people, literally, don't give a shit.
Right.
I met a lot of people like that recently. And, you know, they don't want to get to know the person. And that's fine. You don't need to get to know me. That's fine. I understand that. I know my type of personality is not a cup of tea for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Right.
Same thing with Paul, Bass, and whoever. But I respect the person at least. But that's my issue also. You don't want to respect me either. Like, so I give you 2 fingers for that. Simple. I don't give a shit then. Again, don't give a shit personality. Like, you know, if it doesn't affect me personally, I don't care. But that's not everybody. Some people it does bother. A little refresher for everybody who is coming in the stream tonight. Please hit the like and subscribe. It will help us out a lot, and I would appreciate it. And more likes, more subscribers, more streams.
Yep,
Go ahead, Beth. I was already cut you off.
No, it's just oh no! Don't tell me I lost my thought. Damn. Let's see. Yeah, I'm blank right now.
He'll come back.
Oh my goodness! Right.
He'll come back.
Okay, let's talk about affection for a second here. How does an affection play any role in this?
Affection, not infection, right?
Yes. Not infection, affection. I'm bilingual. Cut me a break here.
Well,
I think it can. I mean, again, especially on the maybes. Like I said, yeses, maybes, and nevers. Well, there's my wife. I have no doubt that she loves me like crazy, but there's still some nevers that she'll never do. Yeah. But in the maybes, yeah, I mean, like in the maybe category, I'm like, I can be persuaded. Like, I want to say yes, if you give me a compelling argument to, because I want to be, you know, better for you. I want to please you. A lot of women don't understand that. Men generally, like, we want to please our wives, our women. Just don't emasculate us or have us do things that are, again, out of our, you know, out of our id, so to speak, our ego. But if, you know, what do you need? Yeah, I can do that because I have affection for you. I want to please you in every aspect. That's part of my what we always talk about in these spaces. Men are providers and protectors and things like that. To me, that's part of the provision. If I decide to make you my wife, my gosh, it's like, yeah, I want to be the hero to my wife. I want her to respect me. I want her to be like, that's my man. I want her to be the, you know, yeah, I want to be that. So affection definitely goes a long way in my, even if you tell me something on the rip that, again, I mean, it might be uncomfortable to hear initially. But again, I'm going to do my analysis. I'm going to do my rational. Okay. Again, I got to weigh the pros. What am I losing? It could be maybe just a little bit more time. It could be, hey, when I'm talking, don't be on your phone. A variety of things that when I look at again, what am I going to be gaining? Yeah, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think, I see a lot of couples and relationships. It's like you just want to say no. Like, well, I think about no. I mean, you're just so resistant to being, cooperation. I mean,
That's
it's like,
because people are just, they live in conflict, right? Like
mm,
they just live to fight. I don't understand it, but that's a lot of people that we see. It's like you see more fighting than you see people being affectionate towards one another. And it's like they just don't even know how to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like for us, like being affectionate is simple, but for these people who are always, you see the woman always disrespecting her man, the man is
Right,
always,
right,
it
right,
goes back and forth, right?
right.
And
And
it's
I'm right.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm asking the
and it's
question.
done
It's
it too
like,
long.
why are you, to the point that you asked earlier? Why are you even together?
Yeah,
I'm like, if you're in a relationship,
I just don't
if you
understand.
get married, when you said I do, that wasn't just for the vows. That's forever. I do. Like my predisposition is yes towards my wife. If my wife has a request, the yes is on until I find a reason to say no. Most of the time.
Yeah,
It's yes. It's like, whatever she tells me. Yeah, and you need, okay, yeah. It's just yes is on. There's no, it's like,
yeah.
well, wait a minute. No, we can't do that because this, that, and the third. So I have to come to that conclusion, you know, be before I can go with that. But my
I mean, I told you,
predisposition is yes.
Paul, hang on a
yeah.
second. Before we move on,
I
I want
told
to
you,
welcome our next guest on the panel. Welcome.
Hey, I didn't even know I was on. Can y'all
Now
hear
I
me?
got
Yes, we can.
you've been
yeah, we
messing with
can
this
hear you. We
OBS
can
thing
hear
for a
you.
while, so it finally gave in and gives you know what, I'll let her in. So I actually give you credit for trying, not giving up. I gotta give you a round of applause for that one, and I gotta give you
Thank
applause
you.
for everything you do for all of us, from
Indeed.
you to me to all the streams. You're the warrior of us. You're our backbone. So thank you for borrowing my heart. Seriously.
Oh man, we got a bonus.
I'm loving this hairstyle. Slay, girl, slay.
Oh, me? Or, because I'm liking her too. Who, me or her?
All of the above.
Well,
For
thank you. I'm going
Hmm?
to say thank you. And yeah, I got the finger waves in today.
Thank
You
you.
know how I do.
Yo,
Hey, wife.
Hi.
so,
I
hey.
can't hear it. We can't hear you. We can't
communication
hear
Uh-oh.
part
her.
in here. I'm
I didn't say anything.
There you go.
You good? All
Oh,
right, everyone's on. All right, go with it, Peter, before it
Okay, there you
goes out again. Go
I
ahead.
know, right?
Go ahead.
go.
um, lady, you want to go first? Go next. Go ahead. Floor is yours. Whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
I was just liking the show. I was going to wait for you to have us say something, but um, starting in the beginning, you don't should have to change no man. If you chose him, don't change
Right.
him. You chose him. So why
Mhm.
change him if you chose him? If you want to change your man, well, go get another man that you like to your likings or whatever. I don't understand why people do that. I really don't understand it. It's crazy. And
Mhm.
the attitude and disrespect behind it, because if she doesn't like it, she's gonna disrespect it. She's gonna find reasons to fight with you, argue with you, etc., etc., etc. Or whatever. Lady, the men vet for on you. That don't mean you not vetting. You have to know him. If he's what you want, then that's your and he picks you. Then you have that decision and say, okay, I pick you back. That's how we choose too. They have to choose us first. Sorry, we can't just choose them first. I know all these women want these six-figure brothers, and they weigh 200 million pounds, and tell us you want him to take care of all your kids. That ain't how it works. When he chooses you, that's when you get the chance to say yes or no, or you go. Stage left, right, whatever. I don't know. I can't see because I'm on the y'all right, my left, whatever. But anyway, that's all I'm saying on that because it's stupid. And again, I'm not nervous. We'll be on these panels every week talking about this shit on different channels. And I hate to say it, the world is not going to change. It is how it is. And I was just watching a video of a girl for her son's birthday party. I think he was like 8 or 10, somewhere around there. And they had the little characters and like Woody. I shared it to you. The Woody from Toy Story. And she was just twerking and he was got mad like, no, mama. And she kicked him out of the way. And I was so pissed off. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to take flight onto that video. And I don't want to fight no more. You know what I'm saying? We ain't in high school. I wanted to fight her for that because, like, that's an embarrassment. That's his party. What are you twerking with? Why is Woody twerking with you? That must be a lady in a suit. Why she twerking? Because it's Woody. I was just disturbing.
I saw a similar one where they were at the kids' prom. They were at the kids' prom, and the mom was twerking on the DJ or the photographer. No, photographer.
Right, the son's.
It's just, I'm sorry, but bitch, no.
God damn.
This is the moments when I miss Kevin Samuels, the little slap button.
People don't understand that children are people, and you can disrespect them. Oh yeah, fight that bitch. Like I couldn't. I'm. You know what, Lord, thank you, Lord, for not having me in certain places at certain time because I can't.
Rule number 1, guys, don't mess with bass. Rule number 2, run for your lives.
Oh God. No, but most definitely.
I cannot stand people disrespecting kids.
Yeah, most definitely.
Especially parents.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Wife,
Yeah,
I got y'all on my big screen. If y'all want to know what I'm looking at, I'm watching y'all on my big screen.
On your good screen.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the big screen. While the camera looking at me, I'm just like, hey, I'm looking at the big screen like, you look goofy, lady. Like, you look goofy because I'm not on my device. I would be on the panel.
I'm gonna do it.
I left it in Chicago, and my auntie was supposed to mail it to me, but you know, my uncle, who I call granddaddy, passed away when you guys knew I had to go out of town again. Went back out to Chicago and didn't bring my iPad again. I was like, Lord, I just keep looking at myself like, you look goofy, lady. Like, that's why I keep doing this. Like, should I keep my hair like this?
I don't think you used to be on camera. That's the thing. You're so used to being behind camera. Now I got you on front of the camera.
But when I'm looking at this and I'm looking at y'all like I'm focused, I'm straight, and my eyes go up, you can see through my glasses. I'm like, shit, they need to be darker so they won't see my eyes. I'm looking at that screen anyways, but it makes me look like I'm looking at y'all.
Here's a crazy question, lady. Am I the first one to get you on camera, or did anybody else get you on camera before?
No, they'll tell you. Best tell me, I'm not shy. I used to be on panels, but I had stopped. I stopped, and I just started moderating like crazy, and trying to help the channels that need help. You know, saying advertising and stuff. That's why y'all say you're a great moderator.
Yeah, she
so that's why I do what I do. I like it. Thanks and shout out to Sir Hill.
We gotta give you credit where
it's due. My boss, he taught me a lot. Yeah, taught me a lot. got me into a shout out to Daily Rock crew where I started from. I was the only moderator there, the only one. Then we started getting big. I was like, dog, my eyes hurt. I can't read every comment. So we started recruiting. I helped recruit some because I'm part of the team. You know, that's my family. I helped get some as moderators, and then like when we at 200 and almost at 250,000 right now. So shout out to David Wrap Up Crew, my home.
Awesome.
So, but when y'all, and I'm just noticing I'm all y'all moderators. That's
Well,
crazy.
I think I
appreciate you.
speak for most of the channels you do.
Except for you. Except for you.
Hey, you help me with more you can't do. Plus, trust me, you're always in the
I
chat.
moderate for you anyway.
Listen, you hit me like you hit likes, you share the stuff I need. That's all I ask for. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot.
All right, we're gonna show you how to do that though.
All right, definitely.
All right, that's back to the topic.
Wife, what do you guys say?
Oh, I said definitely you shouldn't change a person to fit your narrative. You should kind of know what you want in a person, be that for yourself first, and then find somebody that aligns with that. You're like your core values and things like that. Well, he may not be taller than me. Maybe he's like the same height. There's some trade-offs that you can have because he has those qualities that you need. A lot of people, focus on what they want rather than what they need in a person. Like they probably need a person that's like emotionally intelligent.
Right.
They need somebody that's caring. They need somebody that's consistent, that has integrity. But we want the lifestyle. That's just a totally different thing. Like that's not what you need. That's what you like to have because it's appeals to people. And when you get home, then it's a totally different story. Like, wow, he's not here, or I don't get the love, or he's this, he's cold. And you're like, well, you didn't look for those things and you didn't vet him properly, or you know what I'm saying? Just a lot of things that we dismiss and overlook for the sake of having somebody. Like Bennett was talking about that, like that lustful thing, we get infatuated. That infatuation, especially for women, sometimes it just goes way out the window. We start making scenarios and all these things, and we imagine ourselves with that person, but like really there's so many red flags that we overlook, and usually the things that we let slide are the things that usually brings everything to a demise later. Like sometimes we may want to, like I dated a Muslim. He was a great man, he was a great guy, but some of the things he said, it really hit against my little shield. I'm like, oh God. And then I would always sit after that conversation. I'm like,
Girl.
am I willing to tolerate this? Because I wanted to get married. I guess I was in a slight desperate mode. Okay. I guess I was a little slightly desperate. Okay. But he was a good man, but it was really that. I asked myself, I'm like, wow, can I really deal with this? Because some of the things he would say would spark a little anger in me. But I didn't want to, be angry. We would have the tough conversations. But it was like I was trying to make these things fit together that didn't. And that was one of them. And I couldn't compromise.
Yeah, you gotta
it just
be.
came to a head after a while. It's just.
So, Bass, I know somebody personally who's
The thing about anger.
I didn't yell. It just inside. I'm like,
I was just gonna.
Like, why would you say that?
No. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. That's why I say when it comes to anger, if someone is constantly triggering you, right? It doesn't even have to be like a big number, like 70%, whatever. But if they're even 30 to 40% is too much. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's on that level, you gotta just let them go, because that's messing with your health first of all, and that's if you have anger issues. Like I have anger issues. You don't need somebody triggering you, and that can escalate to something else one day. without you
Right.
even knowing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, when it comes to
So
anger,
can I
y'all,
ask?
That's how a
Can I,
lot of
people got to be
toxic
real careful.
relationships start.
yeah,
If someone,
That's how a lot of toxic relationships start. Keep
yeah,
that in mind.
yeah. But can I ask a question though?
yeah,
So
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
from a spiritual perspective, um, how do the two become one?
from where
From a spiritual perspective,
from
how does
oh spiritual. Okay, okay,
how
okay.
do two become one
Married under
flesh?
God.
Sex,
Marriage under God.
right? Sex.
That's what you want.
There's a
I think a combination too.
there's a obviously there's a physical component to that, sure,
Right.
and one under
Wife
God.
But
want
That's
that's
them.
okay.
Well,
But
I thought
having
that that was part of the consummating of it. Like you can like be together, right, in the courting phase, but actually the sexual union makes you one. I guess physically. Sorry, that was just
physically right, but that is certainly a part of a larger dynamic because again, especially if you talk about till death do you part,
right.
you're always trying to
Yeah,
become one flesh, not just in body but
yeah,
in spirit and everything else.
Right.
So the idea that again, I'm pushing back just a little bit on this idea that you shouldn't change anyone, but I think isn't in that pursuit of one flesh, doesn't that intimate that change is inevitable? It's part of the process. You're giving up part of your individuality, which I think has certainly been
Right.
something in these spaces has been argued that everybody wants to. It's marriage is not just two individuals. You come into it as two individuals,
Hmm.
but the rest for the rest of your life until death do you part.
yeah.
You should be
Right.
aligning. You should be conforming.
Absolutely.
You should become. So the idea of change, though, I'm hearing kind of mixed messages about it. You shouldn't change anyone, but change is inevitable when
Hmm.
you're going from your parents' house into your husband's house or whatever is And again, you could be aligned on about you're both Christians or whatever your
Right.
faith you proclaim is, but Christianity has like 100 different flavors to it, and I'm sure other religions do too. So it's not to say
yeah.
that you're not gonna all you're not gonna be before Jesus one day. Everyone, if you declare Jesus is your savior, he died for your sins and raised from the dead.
Hmm.
That's it. All this other stuff that we beef about. I was just talking about this Sunday in my Bible study.
Hmm.
That all the
But
things that we debate about in the faith itself about what how you vote or how you believe this or that or whatever. At the end of the day, there's only one
yeah,
question that you're going to be asked.
Hmm.
And so as long as you're aligned on that, so you're going to be aligned there, but you still have to make that work. So how do we reconcile this idea saying, well, you shouldn't go and trying to change anybody, but nevertheless understand that change is and should be part of the natural growth and progression as you go on with things. So how do you reconcile those two things?
right. But that's
That's the
the
question.
thing is,
I'm
there's a
not giving an answer. I'm
difference
just saying
between
how do you
trying to
reconcile that?
change someone and you just changing, right? No, I know. I'm saying like okay. The thing is, there's change where a person is trying to change another person, and then there's self improvement. That's the type of change that people do naturally. They're supposed to do it naturally. As the years pass by and stuff like that, and you learn different things, you consume what's needed, and get you drop the waste, right? So yeah, naturally, in general you
But
should be
but
improving yourself.
okay, all right. So let's take a look at the end. So I don't mean to bogart the show, grooming.
No, I actually like it was going. Keep going. Go, go, go,
Is
go.
the isn't
You good.
that the term itself problematic? When you say self improvement, isn't that
So
contradict? If
the
the
word
point of the
change.
marriage is
Oh,
shouldn't it be
self improvement.
marital improvement, not self
Mm. I
improvement?
like that.
Because
Marital.
if you are only if you're talking about self improvement, is whatever you're gaining from that,
It's a
how does
one-way
it benefit
street.
the marriage?
Yeah, it's no
So
way
it's
straight
not
in marriage.
even the focus. Now, again, if you're single, yeah, do all the self improvement that you need to do to get to wherever you want. But if you enter a covenant relationship, then should it be about what
You
improves the
still need to
marriage?
self-improve.
Right. That's true.
Not necessarily what's good for you, because it might be good. It might what might be good for you may not necessarily be good for your marriage. And that's for the man or the woman. I'm not
That's real.
attributing sex to it. So again, so when we say self improvement,
Right.
is
No, I
that
agree with that.
where we need to be going? Marriage improvement,
I like
which
that.
may come at the cost of you changing some things that you do, or things that you were doing that you have to stop doing, or start doing some things that you weren't doing before, for the good and health of the marriage.
Yes, most definitely.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
But that
asking.
because
still
Is
you
not
requires
do.
a
then
That's
person
what
to
you
have
do.
self-improvement.
is that then change? Like I said, then change.
It's like sometimes it ain't even improvement. Sometimes you literally have to stop.
Yeah,
Like if I was married to Bennett or Peter,
Yeah, but
they said,
that,
"Listen, chick, you're gonna have to stop wearing those wigs.
but
I really like
oh,
you the way you are." That is something I would have to stop for the benefit of my marriage. Um,
Yeah.
maybe I'm getting a little bit weight, and so I'm like, going up the stairs, like, I can't, like, okay, some things I just have to change dietarily so that to improve my marriage. Okay, now my husband looks at me a little bit different like he used to because I'm still that same girl. Or like, I'm trying to maintain. There's just certain things that we do have to change for the sake of the marriage. Even men coming off the market.
right.
You're not a bachelor anymore. Even though you're hot and you got the abs and you get the attention from the women, you personally have to have integrity and stop and do those things for the sake of, if I want to be, like you said, the longevity of my marriage. There's just some things you have to change for the sake of the marriage, and that's just it. And I've seen it so many
Yeah.
times, and
No,
it's
I agree.
it's an ugly thing. It's so ugly when people don't change for the sake of the marriage. I've seen it in my church, like literally, this the guy that with the just the way he just was with his
Yeah.
wife, and a lot of people like, hey man, maybe you shouldn't talk to your wife that way because it wasn't in private. Like you have your private discussions that people don't know that y'all have a problem, but when you're bringing it out to the public, so it looks like, wow, that looks kind of like, disturbing. So you're like, you talk to the person and I'm like, hey, maybe you shouldn't, do that. Oh, please, yeah, whatever. But it's a continual thing, and then your wife dies. Then now you have regrets. So wouldn't it have just been beneficial just to change and treat that person with kindness as your wife, as you're supposed to treat yourself if you're supposed to be a believer, and you just don't do it. Now you're living with regret because now
The
you're
thing
telling everybody,
is,
oh, don't do
everybody
this,
is
don't do
living in
that.
this false world of it will never happen to me. Hmm?
Well,
Say again, love.
yeah.
No,
Well,
I was saying that people live in this.
she said people live in this world like it would never happen to me, basically.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
I
That's what I was
wanna
saying.
I wanna piggy.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna piggyback back off of her wife's quote says.
Hmm.
I believe that if you get married at a young age, right, and you get married, and as you
Hmm.
growing, you're changing, right? And let's say you not changing with the growth of him, and you have to change some things about yourself. Now, if you're at a certain age and you get married later now, and then you want to start working on yourself, no, baby, you should have did that before your marriage. To me, you should have did it before your marriage. Because when you did it, if you would have did it the right way and got married younger and grew with your husband,
You said what about
or
before marriage?
like if you would have start young, you know, at a younger age getting married
Hmm.
and y'all growing together, you marriage comes with the growth. And if you're not growing together, it's gonna be unbalanced.
Right.
So when you see that, it's called
Hmm.
working on it, not getting divorced because you're unhappy. You work on it. And if the other team don't decide to work on it and it's a one-way street, then you know. But if him or her decide that they need to work on themselves because you guys start at a young age, I didn't even have time, you know what I'm saying, be before you know what I'm saying, before marriage. Y'all got married. Then you grown, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when you do it. But when if you 40 years old and you now just getting married and then you talking about you need to change all this shit, man, bye. I'm sorry because by 30,
Yeah.
30 something,
That's
you know
fair.
what I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying? You should have had it together. So miss me with
Yeah.
that shit. Y'all know me. I'm gonna keep it 100. You can be mad all you
Yeah.
want. I don't care.
Mm.
Get your shit together and get your house in order. And I can tell you how to keep a man and get a man so fast. But you kind of want to listen. And you guys, you seen it. They don't like when I say stuff. Because they be too real. They be like, I ain't gonna do that. Because it's like, I be like, in order to serve your man, you have to want to serve your man. I ain't gonna do all that. Well, you don't want no man then because if you don't want to serve him out of nowhere, he might say, I want a damn
I'm that
sandwich.
chick,
You
man.
can't get no attitude and say, damn, he always hungry. No, he wasn't hungry, always hungry. He just hungry now. You know what I'm saying? You can't get mad. So that's why I say you have to want to serve him because he might get hungry
That's
at a different time. He's a man. He eats more than you. He might want that sandwich 2 hours before dinner. Maybe make him that sandwich. You can't get him, oh shit. I told him
yep.
I'm finna cook. He just can't wait. Well, baby, that little poodle in the back in the car that be going with you everywhere in your car, that's your partner. Since you don't want no man. I'm done. You know me. I ain't gonna, long stroke all this. But I'm about to hop down because too much is going on. You know what I'm
Appreciate you.
saying?
I appreciate
But
finally getting to meet you. I
I will.
really, this was worth
Hey,
coming.
Uncle Paul, B times 7.
Appreciate
When I come back on, I have to come back on. We're gonna have to do the John Wick. We only reason why we didn't do it because I had that family emergency, and I had to get back and schedule my mentality and
you.
everything. So we still, so you still had time. So if you didn't watch it,
No,
you still
I
got
saw the
time.
movies. I'm up to date. I saw them all.
We'll
Yeah.
do it sometime
Yay!
at the end of the
All right.
month, or we're gonna do it this month, probably at the end of the month. I
All right,
haven't
that's
been
the deal.
feeling well, so if you guys pray for me, y'all.
Absolutely. You take care of yourself.
Take care. And
Rumors,
whenever
Absolutely.
rumors
you
and
need to talk,
review. I don't know
you know
what
where to
it
reach
looks.
out to us. And let me know when you want to do this episode. I'll schedule it.
I am, but I'm gonna get my iPad so I can have it still, so I'm not doing all this crap. You know what I'm saying? Because look, when I work, I work. And I usually have so many devices. Like you be like, damn, lady, what is this? Some type of Batman system? No, I just have to pay attention because I have so many lives going on. And I be on a panel moderator. I be like, y'all need to hit that like, go
See
invite
you on
somebody to
all the
subscribe,
panels.
scratch chair, you know what I'm saying? I be saying all kinds of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I just showed y'all my little junkie room. It ain't that bad though, but it just got like
Yep.
big stuff in there. Big TV, big dresser. But yeah, I see y'all later. Oh, let me say this before I go, lady.
All righty.
You see this? See this, Lynn? Man, don't trust no woman who nails look like Freddy Krueger. She don't wash her hands all the way through. Don't trust her to cook for you. Okay? These eyelashes that look like you finna take off, please take them off because we don't know these men. I be hearing them talking in a barber shop in the streets though. They don't know if you're a man or a woman. With all that makeup on and those things that's going like that. Every time you blink, you feel like you're gonna slap them if you too close and shit. Take that shit off. And then they be dangling. They be like this. She be talking and stuff like, take that shit out. And ain't nothing wrong with no wig. Ain't nothing wrong with a wig.
All
But the
right.
hair hats, if you gonna wear the hair hats, boo the motherfucker. I'm getting tired of them coming off when you guys on the ride, when you guys in the car and you're going out the window. I'm tired. And don't turn it around. And when you turn it around, you're not Effie. It's not a brand new wig. It's the same wig. It's nappy, comb it, blow dry, take it to the cleaners, do something. Take the wig to the cleaners and get it clean. And respect your man.
I
Okay?
know that ain't.
Y'all want these 6, 7 figure men, but you don't know how to handle them. Go get you a hardworking
The hair hat, right,
blue,
right. Best
green,
friend doing
purple
better.
collar man. Cause that might be the man that will treat you, man, like how you want it, and you will never know because you missed out on it because you waited for that 6 figure, 7 figure brother, and you in a size whatever, and you got how many kids looking like Bertha. Come on, Erectricia, get it together. And I'm out of here. All right, family. I holla. How you get out of here? This shit is weird. Do I touch the red phone? Oh, yeah, I'm still on here.
Yes, the red
Do
phone.
I,
Press the red phone. Yes.
my bad. I'm like, do I press the X or the red phone? My bad, y'all. I'm not ghetto. I'm just confused.
Oh, lean
You get a
forward.
trip in OBS. Sheesh. Good thing I didn't get a
Yeah.
more technical system.
Yeah,
That's what's
please.
up.
You know what was really unfortunate? I heard a story one time, and it had to do with a guy, just a regular guy. He's learning how to, really, he was a personal trainer, so he was successful at that. And he was married. So, yeah, this is his first marriage. And so now he wanted to get into stocks. So there's nothing wrong with that. You're learning, you're trying to, expand your money, diversify and all that stuff. And that's like a new interest for him. So, but trading requires you to be like emotionally sound. So you can't be like just rushing and doing certain things. So he was trying to bring his wife, encouraging her to like, hey, can you support me in this? And he said that she didn't want to like, start embracing that part of him learning how to trade and everything. And so he said it just really affected him so much because he knew that the energy that he was putting into it was gonna, be profitable, help pay him off. So it's more like it felt like he wanted her to support his dreams and, pour into that and support him. And it
Yeah.
was just so detrimental that he just was like, I had to let her go because she was blocking that new path in life I guess he was trying to go.
Mm.
And now he's a freaking multimillionaire. And she could have been
I
with
just,
him on that journey. You know what I'm saying? She could have reaped the benefits. There's so many women that are at the end of reaping those benefits, but to be with that man during that time, to be able
yeah.
to just be relaxed for the rest of your life, you may not want to do. He may allow you to work,
No,
whatever it is, but not to have that support.
it,
And now it's like, okay, fine. Now I have a
it's,
better wife. I have my kids. I'm at peace.
yeah, because,
I make money. And unfortunately, it looks like, probably he wanted it with her because that's what he said. Can you please come with me on this journey? Can you
right.
change for the marriage?
It's,
No.
it's
That
not
was sad.
really sad, though.
You don't
It's,
think so?
it's not really sad in the sense that um she showed him who she was,
Mm-hmm.
and so no money was wasted on her. Because what really would have been messed up if she had, just stuck around for the money and then left. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
divorce
wouldn't
him and
take
then
it to
take all the
that
money and stuff
extreme.
like
I
that.
just think that
Like,
he just wanted to support.
well, no, the thing is, the money is for a real one. You know what I'm saying? A ride or die. Like, I'm with you for everything.
But he was
Not
already,
someone who
the
doesn't,
thing was he was
who
already
can't be supportive.
successful. He was already a successful trainer. That's what I'm saying. So she probably is
Right.
used to
But he
money
wasn't
coming in.
married to a supportive person, though, and that's the problem. Why are you with this person? You can't support them, and
Well,
y'all
there's
better stop
support, but that
marrying these damn strangers.
no, but there's levels to that. There's a comfort level,
Yeah.
right? So again, him being successful as a trainer, again, that's for her mindset, she could live with that. But now he's going out into this
Right.
new venture, out of the comfort zone that she's used to. Again, women are naturally nesters. You got, security. You talk about women that you want security, you want stability, all these things. And he's willing to sort of let that go to pursue this
Right.
other thing. It's like not everyone is necessarily built for that. There's very few ride or dies in the world. If I, again, I think my wife would support if I said, you know what, I'm giving up my
Right.
IT
That's the
career
problem.
and I'm going in, but
You said that's the problem?
no, I get it.
That's
the
the
problem is there's not enough
Is
ride
that
or
there's
dies.
fewer ride or die people.
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
Right.
But I think human nature, there's always been few of those. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it just
but
we
it's
also
like
hear the women that say, "I've been the ride or die chicken. I just died. I ride, then I die."
Man.
I'm sorry, but like basically,
You've been waiting to get that out for a long time. I could tell. You want to get that out for a minute. But I think everybody at one point in time, I definitely want to get this message out. I think in a marriage, especially, because you can say, and I know Bash, you've been saying, look, I'm that type of person. I'm just going to do. Well, it's almost like that's not work for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's gonna come some times or a time when it's going to feel like work. Mm-hmm. See, when you're good with it, if that's just your right.
The thing is, you're right though. Like the thing is, at some point, your marriage, your relationship is going to feel like work. You are exactly right, and people are not living in that reality.
Mm-hmm.
When you do reach that point where it becomes like work, like you have to put your
I don't even like that term. Scratch that term because that offends me when people talk about marriage as work. I don't believe that at all.
What about effort?
I think marriage ultimately is about you make decisions. Yeah. And some people, a decision could be made like that. Mm-hmm. And some people, it takes years before they make a decision. And the sad thing about that a lot of times is when they finally make the decision, they be like, oh, that wasn't so bad after all. Right. So you spent years of just being in this space, just being stubborn and wow, that wasn't that bad. Fear. Right.
It's a space of fear.
So again, it's so that whatever you got to work through to make that decision is really where if there is such a thing called work, that's where the work is. But again, a lot of times it's not work because again, you just do it. It's like breathing. You don't think about it, you just do it. When you say, okay, I'm going to do it, it's not work at that point. It's just a decision. But so many people are there's going to come a point in time when you're going to have to make a decision on something that is outside of your comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Like if you're already sexual already,
majority of people, like you said, can't handle that.
Right. But I'm saying, if you're already a sexual person, sex is not work for you. Mm-hmm. When you go through menopause and be like, baby, I just don't have it anymore. Wow. But now you still got to be a wife or a husband for that matter. You're like, I got to do what I got to do. Give me that blue diamond or whatever I got to do, or let me break my ego and pride and let me go see somebody. Maybe I have some sort of issue that can be medically helped. You're going to have to make those kind of calls at some point in time. But so many people stay I don't want to move from here because of the fear like you talked about. Also, and that's what really I think is really holding people back. So again, the idea. But you're going to come to a point where you're going to have to make those kind of calls. And a lot of people won't make. I think that's the difference between marriages that survive and marriages that don't. Is because at that time of decision, You're like, this is who I am. I'm not moving. He or she's going to have to deal with it. And that's the end of it.
Mr. Bennett.
Yeah.
Or Peter, if you were in that position and you knew in your heart of hearts and you had your mentors surrounding you and you started seeing your vision taken off and your wife did not want to move out of her comfort zone, would you take her with you, or would you if that was detrimental to bringing you down because you need to be in a mental space to win, would you let that woman go?
P, you can take that first. You've been silent for a minute. If you want to take that on, I'll come back.
That's a hard question because I was in a similar situation where, a couple years back. I want to take her with me, but I got to get her head back on straight. First, I'm going to talk to her. If I have to take her to counseling, going together, whatever the case is, I would do it. But one factor you didn't ask, how selfish is she? If the person's selfish, she was not willing to budge, I can't do nothing about it. And how important is my dream? Be honest, my dream is right now is to have kids. The person could not give me that. She knew it was a lot of reasons. It was medical reasons. Nothing we could do about it. So we ended up separating.
Right.
Me being a father means everything to me. And I know there are other options on the table, but with my current situation, those are not cheap, in other words. So I had to make a decision. We both made a decision. We separate for that reason. But we had a conversation. We had a talk. It did scar me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. Went to therapy. Made me a better person.
Yeah.
You know, I learned a lot about it. That's why I'm such a big fan of therapy now. If you don't think you need therapy, you probably do need therapy. Yeah. My best friend, CQ, who does a pop culture warrior, he would tell you, he thinks everybody needs therapy. And I agree with that. I am a big fan of that.
Yeah, at some level. Yeah.
Yeah. Even you're cool, nothing's wrong with you. You might just think you don't need it. You might probably don't need it. But you know what? It's good to talk to a third party doesn't know you and just let it out. Just because somebody to bullshit with. That's something you only need. Therapy is...
They're not going to run behind your back and tell somebody else.
That's the other thing. I've never been that kind of person, to be straight up with you guys. I've never been like, Paul told me something, I'm going to run and tell Lost or BMU or somebody. No, I'm not going to do that. I've never been like that. I'm like, what he tells me stays between us. And that's how I was raised, at least. But if you run and tell you, you're a little fucking bitch for doing that. Simple as that. I'll tell you, I'll call you straight out on it. And I've done it in the middle of my line. I'm cooking, I'm hearing people talking shit. What the hell's going on? I'm like, first of all, I told you because I trusted you. Now, go fuck yourself and get the fuck out of my kitchen. I'm like, what? You're going home for the day. Simple. That's how fast I send your ass home. I don't care. I'm like, if you were with a bunch of groups and I find out you talking, like, yo, dude, what's up? You got something to say? I'm right here. Yeah. Don't talk behind my back. That's one thing I cannot stand people do. It is one of my biggest pet peeves. Yeah. You have something to say? Right here. Right in my face. We can deal with it. We don't have a swing. We can talk like mature adults. If we're scream, we scream. We don't have a swing. We can let it out. After that, it's squashed. Simple. But when you go behind people's back, I hate. Yeah. Trust me, I will never speak to you ever again. Simple as that. There's no reason. I deleted people out of my life who are toxic to me. Even my own family members. Yeah. They were bad for me. My cousin's one of them. He put me down all these years. And finally, I had enough. You know what? You do you, I do me. We're done. And then with domino effect, most of my cousins didn't want to speak to me. You don't want to speak to me? Fine. You know what? I'll make my own family. My friends will be my family. I know I can call people, and they're gonna run from me. Simple.
You can't pick your relatives, but you can pick your family. That's for sure.
Exactly.
True.
So, go ahead.
As far as so that's a bit of a loaded question for me because
it's very difficult.
You have to. Well, it's loaded. It's not. It's not terribly difficult, but it's loaded in that when you say the woman won't support me. So let's say if my wife didn't support me in a venture, there's a difference between not supporting and trying to sabotage a venture. Because if this is something that I so wholeheartedly believe in and that I'm going to do it, and as you said, I got these mentors around me and people that are helping me to actualize this, she doesn't have to believe it or trust it. She could just sit by and watch. You just maintain a house. You just do whatever. I got this, and I'll show it and I'll prove it to you. When the checks start coming in, and you start seeing the cash flow and everything that came from this venture. If I'm that dude, if I'm that convicted about what I'm doing, then I think there has to be a part of you that has that kind of attitude. Because from a covenant perspective, you know who I am. So that's not a reason for me to leave. Mm-hmm. Bible doesn't allow for that. Adultery or abandonment. That's basically it. So because she doesn't want to support me on a venture, and I don't know what that support would entail. Would she have to do something specific towards the venture? Or is that somebody I can maybe hire somebody to do? So what by what support are we talking about? Or is it simply that she just, every time I talk about it, she just says, oh, I don't think that'll work. I don't know why you're wasting your time there or whatever. I think if it's that important to me, I got to be stronger than that. Because again, it's like anything else. It's like your family is oftentimes going to be your biggest naysayers when it comes to whatever you're doing. So I got to be bigger than that if I really believe in what I'm doing. So I got to say, okay, wait and see, and I'll show and prove it to you. And when it comes in, then you can jump on board. That now would have been great if she said, "Oh, Paul, you can do it, great, and I believe in you, and I'll do anything you want me to do," and all that stuff. Yes, I mean that's useful. But if I'm saying I'm going to be a man, and if my woman is such where she can derail my plans by
her actions of not supporting you,
that's
will
different.
Derail you because you have to be in that space.
No, there's a part of me that I say that's a weak man. Mm. I just believe that. Like I said, that's why I asked specifically when you talk about not supporting, or is she sabotaging? In other words, I'm calling in bids. She's calling behind and say, cancel the bid. I mean, sabotaging. She's telling, people stuff about me to discredit me in front of but if she's just like, hey, I'm just not in it. Look, you go do it. I don't believe in it. Look, I'll keep the lights on. I'll keep everything running, but this is where I'm going. I'm giving up this to pursue this. Right?
You know what? Wait, because the thing is, you don't even know why it's weighing him down. So, if he's grown up with family not supporting him like they're supposed to, and your wife, who is different from any other relative you would ever have, your spouse is different from your parents, from your children, from your cousins, all this shit. When they don't support you, it hits differently. It does not make him a weak person for not wanting to deal with that shit. The thing is, though, this is my main problem. People are marrying strangers. You should already have known whether or not she was supportive or not before you put the ring on it.
But that's what I understand what you're saying, but again, that's why I said earlier. Yeah, there's levels to this.
Let's go to the max level.
People could be comfortable with you to a certain point, or you marry based on prediction, right? It's like you're basically like you're making a forecast. So you're going in. This is the person as they are. Now they want to do a total 180 and go in this direction. That goes against what you've known, especially if you've been in this sort of lifestyle or position for years. Now they want to go off. Now that makes you uncomfortable because that's not what you, in your mind, that's not what you signed up for. I know people, for example, wife school, people, for example, go into the ministry, right? You could be a successful businessman.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, you know what? I got the call to follow the Lord. So I'm giving up my job. I'm going to divinity school. I'm leaving that life and I'm going to preach the gospel. For some lady, I've seen it. I've seen pastors was like, the ladies like, look, you know, that might be your call, but it ain't mine. And I can't deal with that.
Right.
But nevertheless, if in fact that is your call, if you believe that God is calling you to this higher office and she does not want to stay, Bible says she can leave or he can leave.
That happened to my mom. My dad had a stable job, and he said, "I'm gonna go." Got married. He said, "I'm working for myself." She's like, "What? You know, Negro?" No, I'm like, sorry, grooming. So it was like, it's like I did not sign up for this, but she stayed. But he was very successful. That's cool. Some people work a whole day to make $1,000. You can make $1,000 in a day. That's cool. And so it had to build up, of course, until, you know, the 2008 recession. So that's when he started seeing the, you know, everything ticker down after that. But
right.
He was just flourishing, doing a whole bunch of things. Like, wow, that's cool. A lot of what a lot of people would like to do, working for themselves. But the entrepreneurial life is a really wishy-washy thing, because sometimes you get seasons, it's seasonal, sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. And that can, for a woman that's looking for a man's covering and his protection, that can feel a little bit like,
but I'm saying, but that is the crossroads. That is like and again, things could have been going for years steady. You went on vacations every year and everything was hunky dory. Like it ran like clockwork. What happens when somebody, man or the woman, comes to this point of change? I said, if it is the call, you're going to find out then, are they truly ride or die or not? Again, sometimes you don't know whether you're dealing with diamonds or you're dealing with something else until it's put under pressure. Yeah. So again, I'm not, and again, I'm not endorsing it, and certainly I don't believe that a person in the ministry should leave his wife. I mean, Paul talks about that. You know, if you become, that's no excuse for you to abandon your first priority is your family. Always make sure your family's taken care of before you go and do all that stuff. Guys who go off and do that, no, that's not biblical to me. But nevertheless, those kind of choices and decisions, oftentimes, again, you will not know until you're under that stress. Right. And some wives will say, I follow you. If you saying this come from God, I trust you are my spiritual leader. I trust you. I know your relationship with God. And if you strongly believe that God is leading you in this direction, I'm with you. Ride or die. Right. And some, they're going to leave. And they can leave. But I can't say, well, because you don't support my vision, I'm leaving you. I don't have the right to do that. At least how I interpret the scriptures. I don't have that thing. So again, if I'm relying on you to be my inspiration for the dream that's supposed to be mine, then I don't think that's very inspiring. I just don't. I think if you're gonna be a man, if you're military, how many spouses like, look, we got to fight this war. I'm getting called. She may not want you to go. She knew you were a soldier, and obviously we live in relative peacetime. But if stuff goes awry, you signed up to say, look, I may have to go, and I might be gone for a while, and I may not come back. You had every right and every choice to say whether or not you were going to sign up for that or not before you married me. But I'm a military man. I'm in. So this could happen. Are you still going to be ride or die? Am I still going to get them letters from you when I'm out there and deployed or whatever? Are you still going to hold the family down or anything? Want to get back? Or are you going to go off and do your bit with Johnny around the corner or something like that? Because I've been away for a while.
You know what bothers me with that? I'll be honest with you about me. I hear a lot of women. I want a man in a uniform. All right, and they get the man in a uniform. They cannot deal with it. I have a lot of friends of mine.
Most
hang on
women
a
I've
second.
heard say they want a man who has conviction, a man who is driven, a man who's ambitious, until he starts flexing on that ambition, and then it becomes something else. You like a man to be truthful and tell you to tell the truth, but when he tells you about yourself, you don't like that too much. So again, a lot of you got to decide what you want. If you want that kind of man who's going to go against mostly we're black, whoever it is, racism, whatever, you want that guy to go out there and slay dragons and do all this kind of stuff, then you're going to have to let him do what he does. If that's what you say that you want. But if you simply want security solely for yourself and your selfishness, then that could be problematic down the line. When he's got to do, again, those things. I remember the Rocky movies, Rocky 2, right? Adrian didn't want him to fight anymore. So he did everything. He worked in the meat packing plant, can barely hold the job down. Creed wants him to fight. She's like, I don't want you fighting anymore and all that. And he said to her, it's like, yo, Adrian, I never told you never to stop being a woman, I'm saying, please. Stop asking me to stop being a man. And he goes with Mickey and he does this and he does. But even in the preparation for the fight, he's not concentrating because she's upset. She won't talk to him.
And that's what I'm saying, Mr. Bennett. So your purpose is like your woman is gonna affect you.
Okay, but again, that's Rocky 2. Hang on, but there's growth here. I'm getting there. I'm narrating the story. That's Rocky 2. He didn't get motivated until she said to him in the hospital bed, when then the Rocky music plays and he gets into her. By Rocky 4, he's like, look, I'm going to Russia. I'm fighting this Russian dude, and I don't care. And she's the one that had to come around and say, I'm with you no matter what. Fight.
But
so that's what I'm saying. That is the evolution of man, where he stopped, not to say he didn't love her or care, but he had to do what he had to do. Yeah. And you, as a wife, are you going to be that supportive for a man to do what he has to do, or are you only worried about yourself?
That's where I was going with this a minute ago.
Yeah, so, that was beautiful, Mr. Bennett. But it seemed from that story that she wasn't like that, because even if you got into your stocks, right, and you're like, babe, I just made $200. That was your small win, and the person just is dismissive of it. Right. It's sort of like a kid brings something to their mom and dad, and they just don't pay no attention.
So you say, what did you just say? You just proved my point. Because you said a kid. You're a grown
but I'm saying
man.
it's similar to.
So no, it's not. It should not be. But that's the point.
Adult relationships do stem from things in our childhood.
Respectfully. Right? Yes. But that's the difference between a child and a man.
Yes, but if that woman isn't validating you, how can you operate in a place where you have to be in sync with this? Now, like you said, he couldn't even do what he needed to do because sis wasn't on board. You know,
and that was like I said, by Rocky 4, he's like, I'm going to Siberia and I'm gonna train in the snow and on the mountains. I'm chopping wood and all that kind of stuff.
I love that.
He came later. And be like, all right, I'm with you no matter what. So that's the change in Rocky. That's the growth. He stopped being so concerned about, being emotionally tied. When especially at that time, I was upset with Rocky. Because wait a minute, you guys are broke. She's barely working in the pet shop. You got no money coming in. And she wants you to work in a meet anywhere else. If you make this money, you can move out of the situation. You're about to have a baby, all this stuff. But she only thought about herself. So I was part of that movie. I was upset with Rocky. It's like, dude, don't, you're letting your emo get all up in your feelings about stuff. when you know that's what you were put on earth to do? You weren't going to be an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor or anything like that. You were meant to be a fighter.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I do. And so,
Well, I mean, that's kind of a bad example, because the thing is, most non-fighters don't understand fighters.
That is
You
facts.
know,
that is true.
and just like most non-military don't understand military people, and vice just,
Yeah, different.
there's
Right.
just certain things that civilian people just don't
Understood.
understand, and they
You're
don't know
100%
how
right.
to respect it.
You understand,
You know
right?
what I'm saying?
But getting
But
back, the reason why I'm saying it's a
that's-
good example is because, again, it was Adrian's evolution as much it was as Rocky's. Because in Rocky 3, I didn't even talk about
Right.
Rocky 3. When he was fearful about the rematch and all that kind of stuff, she gave him the speech. What's the truth, Rocky? What's the truth? Tell me the truth. So she started to evolve then. And by 4, he was good. He was Gucci. He's like, all right, I'm going to do my thing. So again, but that's, to me, that's what marriage ultimately is. It's about, again, you're gonna have these moments. You're gonna have these crossroads, and somebody's gonna have to make a decision.
Right.
And again, for the guy, he said he made $200, and she's still dismissing it. All right, I'll be back with $2,000, and then what you gonna say then? And I'll be back with $20,000. And then what you're going to say then? I think ultimately that's what man needs to be. And as far as that child thing, I'm not dismissing your point. I'm going somewhere with that, because again, that child thing is real, because we're not raising men. Even the terms that we use, we say we're raising children. That is a mistake. That is erroneous. You do not raise children.
You're supposed to be raising.
You're raising adults. Thank you. And we're not raising boys, especially, to be leaders. I've been on this thing for the last couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
I think men, if you're a father who has a son, you need to be raising your son to kick your butt in every way possible. He should be able to kick your butt physically. He should be able to kick your butt intellectually. He should be able to kick your butt in all levels. This is biology.
Yeah.
Any cell, viruses, germs. Why is it that you have to get a flu shot every year? Well, if you take the flu shot every year, because them strains, those mutations, they're stronger than what the previous generation was. So you got to take another flu shot, because those guys, that old flu shot doesn't affect those guys. Like, they're like, this doesn't affect. So you got to come out with a different strain of the flu shot.
New stream of a vaccine.
Correct. So we should be raising the next generation to be in every way better than we were.
Right.
And we're not raising men to be the leaders, to be the alphas, to take over. I should be at my age right now. Back in the day, I'll be 55 this year. Back in the day, I should be thinking about my retirement. Here's the keys to the business and everything. You guys take it over. I'm going to get on my boat. Your mother and I, we're going on a world tour. And we gone. And y'all take over. We're not raising our kids to take over.
Right.
So that child thing, if a man is still having trauma from his childhood because of what his mama said to him, or his cousins and relatives said to him, or whatever, yeah, that's a problem. But we're not raising men.
But it doesn't make him weak. That's my problem with what you're saying. That he's weak. No, he needs therapy.
No, you can have therapy, but woman. There's the thing is that a man can do. There's things that you're supposed to get, not from therapy, from your dad. It just
right
biologically is like, you got to go out, you got to go chop something, you got to go.
So there used to be tribal societies. There used to be a rite of passage. Some people call it the at 13, like the Jews now, they have like the bar mitzvah. The whole purpose of that bar mitzvah was supposed to be when you're 13, a male 13, you're supposed to be considered a man in that culture at 13 years old. You have tribes, hunter gatherers. You took your kid out at 7, 8, 9 years old hunting with you. When he gets to, again, a teenager, he can do everything, if not better than the tribesmen. Again, that whole idea of building a stronger generation.
Yes.
No,
We're missing
my
a lot of
point
that.
is,
Yes, my boys are socially
my-
awkward. I can see it. And because it's just me. Now they have their grandfather around, but he's really like Mr. Bennett said, he retired from raising kids and all that stuff. So he there, but he ain't there. So the stuff that he's supposed to be getting from the father is being delayed. And I've talked to this man literally a week ago, and I'm like, you have to be here for your children. You have to be here for your boys. They're navigating bullying now. They're navigating certain things, and next, their bodies are going to be changing. I don't know what it is to be a man. I don't know nothing about that stuff. So he needs to be.
I hope you don't know what to be a man. Just saying.
And I mean, yeah, you could supplement all you want. You can supplement, but nothing like the real thing. Or when your father can show you
yeah,
what life is about, because you're him. You're an extension of him. He's lived some things. He's experienced some things. He can give you some swag, tell you how to operate in the world as a man. But when you don't get that, it really delays it. It does arrested your development. It
Right.
really
And how
does.
many times have we heard the term like son husbands, right?
Right.
that's what I was gonna say. Right, but the thing is, what else have we been talking about when we spoken about mental health and trauma? That you're stunted, and I'm so tired of
Mhm.
people saying, "Oh, this person will grow out of it," or they're calling people weak who are dealing with mental issues. It's not weakness; it has nothing to do with growth. It's a matter of health.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I can speak on how a family not being there for you affects you because I've
Mhm.
dealt with it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's abandonment.
Yeah.
Right.
No
Yeah.
one wants to be abandoned, and you married this fucking chick, and she's basically abandoning you when she's supposed to be just having there to have your back. Like, you don't even need to be asking her to do anything physical. Just be there for you.
Right.
Because the thing is, trying to start off on something new is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
The just the weight of having to do is start on your own something new is heavy. And if someone can just be there to listen to you or just be present, can uplift you, can hold you up when you feel like you're about to go down.
Right.
No one,
So
100%.
yeah,
No,
if she
again,
can't do that, it's like bye. But again, stop marrying strangers.
I think that's one of the problems. Like, people jump into
So yeah,
marriage
that's
right
just my
away.
thing. Like,
People have to understand is difference between
And
lust
what does
and love.
mental health?
let's say I can't. My only
Right.
struggle with that is, again, especially if you talk about being married for a while, the person you married is not the person you're with down the line. So you can do, like I said, because we always talk about the vetting
No,
process,
I agree
the
that
vetting
part,
and
yeah.
all of that stuff. Again, wait till menopause happens, or wait till you have your first kid. That body that you had, that was just such a popping. Have a couple babies come out of you, and you got the loose skin, and you got the whatever. No one had to think about turning you on. You just knew you were bad. Now you go through these changes, and you're just not feeling it like you did before. And same with a guy. If I'm stressed, married, everything was good. Now I got all these stress. I got all these things. So again, All it is at the beginning, it's like a seed. All you don't know what fruit is going to come from it until it's planted, until it's cultivated, until it's grown. That's when you know what it is. And again, like I said, I have friends of mine, again, 20 plus years of marriage, several of them. And I'm like, y'all divorcing now? I mean,
What was the reason
that
that you found?
didn't get into a ton of detail because I didn't think it was necessarily my place. They didn't confide in me that way. It would be like I run, especially after the pandemic. You didn't see folks for like 2 or 3 years.
Right.
I meet them in the mall. I'll be like, hey, how's Joni? Oh, we divorced last year. I'm like, and I'm trying to like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But in my mind, I'm like, what the? Are you serious? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You guys were like,
I see what you're saying.
all over each other. I mean, what happened? Again, it can change a job loss, a major. When you got these companies, I'm in the IT field, 10,000 layoffs, moving jobs to India, moving here, moving there. Your standard of living can change like that. All these jobs that you take on right now, every one of them is at risk. They put that in the contract, at risk. We can fire you at any time.
Is Jersey non-will firing state too?
Yes, it's an at will.
Yeah, that's what
So everything's at will. Fired anytime, no notice. Thank you for your services. You're out.
And get the fuck out of my office now.
Exactly. Now, likewise, you have
Unfortunately, we're all
I can quit
expendable.
anytime. And I can quit at any time. So VP could just say, you know what? I just found a job. I'm leaving. Boom. Done. So again, there's so many things that can change at any given time, 10 years, 15, 20 years in. That's one of the reasons why I said, and why I say, this is my 28th season of marriage.
I like how you say
I
season.
stopped saying I've been married for 27 years because that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. To us, at least to me and my wife. Now, it may have impact on my kids and, the community around us. But for us, the only thing that matters is this year. Season 28, we're like 4 days into it. This year is the only thing that matters. I can't rely on the previous 27 because I don't know what's going to happen. I can get into an accident. She can get into an accident. Some other challenge comes, whatever. We don't know. It's this year. That's it. Yeah. 1 year at a time.
And that's a good mentality to have, too.
It's season 28 or death. That's our approach. That's how we look at this thing. So I can't take for granted, got all that time to get. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Because change can happen in ways whether you want it or not.
Absolutely.
So I got to be ready for that. And what are you going to do when that change happens? Are you going to stick with it? Are you going to ride it? Is ride or die? Or is that going to be enough to say, oh, I can't deal with this, then I'm out?
Yeah, it's pretty intense. When my husband cheated, what? I don't know what's season 9. That was crazy. I didn't expect it. I suspected it, but I didn't expect it.
Wait a minute. You suspected, but you?
Yeah, because he when people cheat, they start changing.
Okay, so everything season 6, season 7, season 8, it was just
boom, kids, all this great stuff. It was great. And then I was like, okay, that's weird. Okay, but I was like, oh, he would never do that to me. No, that's not. We would never do that. That was just not a thought in my head.
That's your mentality.
But I would say, oh, that's a little weird. But I was like, no, I'm not going to challenge it because he wouldn't do that to me. That's how much I,
right.
Didn't.
Which is one of the reasons why I say again, those prior years, the only thing that matters is this year. My marriage is not automatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was tough. Yeah,
so that again, so the season that you're in is the one that you work on. Treat it like it's year one.
Okay.
That's also one of the reasons why I don't go around saying, "Oh, okay, I've been married, all this time. Yeah, nobody could tell me anything." No, I listen to newlyweds.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to people 5 years, 3 years, whatever it is, whatever level that you're in, because I can learn
Yeah.
from anybody. If I'm doing it one season at a time, I can learn from anybody. If I
Yes.
go around
Yeah,
trying to
that's
flex my 28-year medal, it's like I forgot more than they know. That's oftentimes with people in general. When you think that you know everything, that is just setting yourself up for a failure and a fall. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I don't put myself in those
yup.
those situations. So yeah, so again, you'll see this whole year.
Mm-hmm.
It's season 28. That's it.
I like that.
And
I'm
and
learning.
and then everything else is whatever.
Right.
Like I said, the 27 seasons is important to my children because they lean on that. But for me and my wife, no, it's
One day
right
at a
here,
time.
one day at a time. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what are we doing this year? So we got 1 year plan. What are we doing this year? What bills are we paying this year? Where are we traveling this year? What are our goals for this year? Gonna have a kid going to medical school by the end of the year. I got a kid graduating by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's going to change the dynamic in the household. We're already feeling it now. We may need another car this year because these good ladies, my youngest is going to be 21. We're always looking at, we need another car. That's finance. That's straight. How are we going to handle this year?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but just real quick, as far as, again, that child thing, the idea that you have these kids or these men who are going into marriage,
Right.
who did not get the support,
Right.
or did not get the nurturing or the mentoring to be independent, that to say that I need my woman to be that motivated. Again, it's great when you have it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's great when you
Yeah.
have it. But even if you don't, my mindset is like, look, I got a house, I got a kid, you're still my wife. I got to take care of you. And I got to take care of my kids. And I got to take care of my dog. And I got to take care of everything that's in my purview. I still got to take care of my mom. Even though I didn't have the greatest relationship with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
That's another story in and of itself. I still got to take care of her. So all
I
those
agree
things.
with you in the sense that it shouldn't have messed with him so much that it stopped him. I agree that I agree with that.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that I understand why he would leave her.
And I can understand it. I'm just saying, for me, just with
Yeah.
my value system, that's not a reason to leave. That's not grounds for me to
Okay.
leave. So again, I got to be. If she went and she had an affair or whatever, or she abandoned me and she said, "Look, I'm out," I can't stop her from leaving. She wants to leave in that situation. She can. She has the right to do so. I'm saying I don't have to say, "Well, you're not going to support me in this venture, so bye." No, I still have to be level. I still have to be solid in who I am. And again, it's either going to work or if it's not. Now, if it doesn't work, then I can always go back to what I was doing before. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
if if that's the case, and then she'll
No.
be
That's what happened to me.
calm, and
Think
everything will
about
be
it.
like, all right,
Like I had the karate business for a
Some
longest time,
people.
and it went well. To the economy
Huh?
took a shit back in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
and I went back to cooking.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it now. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that. But
Yeah.
am I going to stop chasing my dream to have my own business? Absolutely not. I
Right.
will still. I'm like, that's what I desire. Because I'm more happier going to work for myself. I don't have to listen to some every goddamn bimbo behind me telling
Yeah.
me all this shit. So,
Why you gotta be a bimbo?
okay. Dumbass. Better?
Yes.
Hey, girl, don't you be speaking up for no females you don't know. Shit.
I was talking about
If
men.
he said bimbo, I'm going.
I was talking
bimbo.
about men.
I'm not speaking.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking of him.
So anyway, guys, so we're top of the hour. We went over
Yes.
time, but that's okay.
This is a good show. It's a great show.
So-
this is,
Final thoughts, and I'll give you a schedule update and some updates on the channel. Bass, you want to go first?
Sure. Now I agree. I understand what Mr. Bennett was saying about sometimes it's not about you not knowing a person, but I'm just speaking in general from what I've seen of people in the world. And what I'm seeing is people are marrying strangers. They're having so many conflicts because you didn't take time to get to know this person to even know that you would be having conflicts with this person. Stop it. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Stop marrying strangers. Take the time to get to know a person. Like what are you gonna lose trying to get to thoroughly or as thorough as possible know a person. So that's it.
Paul, you're up. Go ahead, brother.
Not to divert from what Bass is saying. All I'm saying is, again, everybody simply gives you their resume. And just like with any resume, people will oftentimes fudge things on their resume. It's not until they get into the job. It's not until they get into a situation, especially a challenging situation, is when you know that they're good at it. I remember Teddy Atlas, he's a boxing trainer. He talked about this. He said, "You're not a lawyer until you're in court and the judge throws out your evidence. And you got to come up with a new way to solve it. You're not a lawyer. You're not a doctor until you're in the operating room and a kid starts to hemorrhage and whatever is going on, it's not in the book. But you got to find a way to get this kid. Then you're a doctor." All right. So again, a lot of, and when we're dating, when we're courting, or whatever you want to call it, we're always going to give the best versions of ourselves. And then there becomes the real of being with someone and how do you live, how do you coexist with someone over a period of time with all the life experiences and changes that can take place. That honeymoon period is, again, it's like Disneyland. You can go do anything you want. You can have sex as much as you want. You can. It's just constant. You can just do whatever, man. It's great. But wait till baby 1 comes, then baby 2 comes, baby 3 comes, and then wait until your job income is cut by 50%. Literally, cut 50% on a decision because we decided, well, it's cheaper to hire folks in India, so we're going to cut your salary by 50%. And I just bought a house, and I got this wife with 3 kids. And what I'm going to do now?
Right.
So it's going to happen.
How you handle
it. And that's when you find out who you really are.
Right.
And whether or not the person that you said you married, you thought that person was, is that person going to be truly the one who's going to ride or die with you no matter what? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But why do women desire to change men? Because it's just normal. That's what women do. Women want, they want their man looking good. They want their kids looking good. They want their house looking good. They're again, women are nesters. So they're always going to want.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Go for it.
Do y'all think it's like a hero complex or something, or
no? It's just
something that makes them feel like high. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I fixed this person, I changed this person, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
There could be a part of that there. I won't deny that, but I think it does comes from a nurturing instinct. That you are trying to shape and mold. Women are the first teachers. You're trying to shape and mold, again, everything that's around you. That's what you do. Men are built. We build stuff. Women, you guys refine stuff. You take whatever we get out the ground. We go and hunt the pheasant. You come home and you cook it up and you make a wonderful meal out of it, and then brag about how good your meal is. We just go into spirit, harpoon it or whatever, put it back. This is what my grandparents used to do. My grandfather would go out with a shotgun, boom, 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 come back, lay the tortoise, lay the birds, the whatever. Again, back then they ate and they literally lived off the land. He went hunted raccoon, squirrel, possum, all that stuff. Yeah, he got it.
Yeah,
brought it back, put it on the table. Grandma would be on the back porch cleaning it up, tearing the skin off, and yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what y'all do, and y'all try to make that stuff taste good for what they do, and brag
That's
about
my job now.
how good you can make that raccoon taste or whatever it is.
Raccoon tacos.
That's
Tastes
what
like
y'all,
chicken, actually.
y'all do.
Right?
That's what y'all do.
Barbecue raccoon.
So again,
Raccoon gumbo.
you guys are cultivators, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's in the proper context. But you're not trying to necessarily change what he does, and likewise, I'm not trying to change what you do. I don't want you to be a man. I don't want you to have that masculine. I gotta go and screw the world or put a middle finger up to everybody. No, I want you sweet and loving and nurturing and kind and all that stuff. But let me do what I gotta do so you can do what you need to do.
Right.
And in the process of us doing that, yeah, we're gonna get together. I'm gonna learn you. You're gonna learn me more. We're gonna ride through the waves of change and whatnot, and we're gonna come to a point where arguments that lasted a week now last 3 days, now last a day, that we don't go down. Don't let the sun go down.
Right.
Angry at your spouse.
Right.
You get to that because
That
those
was the
things
biggest
that you
thing, to be
said you
honest with you.
value so much. At the end of the day, for what we're going for, really doesn't mean a whole lot.
Right.
That's the journey. Marriage is a journey, and part of that journey, you're gonna take some detours or whatnot. You will change. I'm a better man. She's a better woman. I talk about this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
My wife didn't know how to cook when we got married. She didn't.
God bless you.
Her mac and cheese was straight out of Rapper's Delight. Y'all remember that Rapper's Delight?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Hip hop Rapper's Delight, Grandmaster Flash, the Furious Five, the hip hop, the hibbit, the hibbit, the hip
Yeah, I
hop.
know him, but I don't know
Yeah,
Have you
nothing
ever
else
went?
from.
Have you ever
They look good. The
Have you ever went over your people's house?
and the chicken tastes like wood.
Thank you very much. That was her back in the day. Now she's pretty darn good.
All right.
Change, growth, the journey of marriage is what I like people to focus on, not necessarily the portrait of marriage, taking a snapshot. Okay, boom, I got this and that's it. No, you're going to go through all the life's ups and downs, adaptability, flexibility, changing a different environment, changing circumstances. That is the key to survival in anything these days. They teach you that in the military. And it's a war out there right now.
Yeah.
And you better be able to adopt those practices if you really want to survive and go on to the next. So that's all I got. Thanks for having me tonight.
Close it up. Then it's my turn.
I don't have much to say after Mr. Bennett because it's very true. Just that journey, and getting with that person that aligns with you as much as possible, and then there's the trade-offs that you're willing to do for each other, and taking a step at a time, and for the benefit of the marriage, not necessarily yourself, all the time. You have to make that transition to becoming one. And I think if more people would understand that, then what he said, like the portrait of social media or the good times, it's all this fluff. That's not all the time. And yeah, we really need to rethink a lot of things. We really need to listen to people that have sound judgment and that don't really crap on marriage and bad talk it, because it is a beautiful thing if you can work it out. And
Yeah, done right. Yep.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I want to listen to more of those people, because he even he said, like, even though I know all these things and I've been through these years of experience, I could still learn from somebody that's in year 3. I could still learn for somebody that's doing, because they could be doing something totally new, like, hey, let's try that, to bring
Absolutely.
vitality back to the relationship, or to your wife or yourself, or those things. And I just think that's very important. Those are more the people that we need to hear from, and just not petty people that are angry and that they don't know how to come to any solution or resolution within their marriage. So this was a good show tonight.
I appreciate you liked it. I actually.
Oh, since we were talking about old stuff earlier, I found my old cell phone.
There you go. Nice.
Jesus Christ, that's a big
Yeah, how did you charge that thing?
Only question I got for you: what museum you stole that shit from?
Wait, I got something older. Fisher Price.
Whoa.
Oh, hang on. You're gonna have to pause.
Did anyone ever have this?
Uh-oh.
Hang on. You're gonna have to pause. Hang on. I'm gonna go off camera for a second. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. I'll finish my final thought till you get back.
You raise it up.
So, guys, change is good. I welcome change. If my woman can change me and make me a better man, please do. I love that.
Yeah.
The only pushback I have, to be honest with you, is the argument. It could be three-way. I don't like arguing and going to bed because I wake up pissed off and I'm good morning. I have my coffee. Jesus Christ, you guys gonna want to see me on my coffee without my espresso. That's any woman out there who's gonna be my future wife. One rule: make coffee before I get up. That's the only rule I have. I'll make breakfast. I'll make lunch. I'll make dinner. I don't care. Just have coffee ready. That's all I ask for. But seriously.
That's nice. That's easy.
Seriously, like, I'm a person like 50-50 mix. If we can do a 50-50, I'm great with that. I'm give and take. I give more than I take sometimes. And sometimes the other way around. But that's what I want. Paul, go ahead. Show your thing. I want to do the final schedule checkup. Holy shit.
Whoa.
The bat phone.
Oh,
That's the bat phone.
man. The best phone ever.
Hello. How are you?
But fun fact, my grandmother, when I lived in Greece, had one of those. Her was beige. So,
hold up. I forgot the antenna.
Oh, look at that antenna now. Ever so delicate.
oh, God, I hate those antennas. I used to break them all the time. So, schedule update, guys, really fast. Saturday, maybe if Black David joins us, might have to change it. We're talking about martial art movies this week.
Yes. I want to see that one.
Saturday, gray area. Paul, we on?
I think we're on. Need to give Lightman a top. Did you send the list? The latest
yes, I came in the list. I'm gonna a couple things I want to update is like the Easter and all that stuff coming up. I'm gonna change a few things around, but that's it. I'm changing my page again because I lost my stuff. Follow on next Wednesday. I got a juicy for you guys. Old fashioned versus current marriages. What's the difference? Why did old marriages survive so long and now most of them don't? Any questions? Let's find out next week. So, except that, this is Grooming Reviews 101. I am Ghost of Spara. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.